All right, so Alhassan Suhuyini, who is Member of Parliament for Tamale North and ranking member on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament, is joining us on the line to help us appreciate really what his concerns about accountability for the Green Ghana project is. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Government is so happy that it says over 23 million trees are doing well. That should certainly be good news for anybody concerned with the environment and anybody who takes natural resource management, etc. I'm serious. Then you are ranking member or deputy ranking member on the committee in Parliament. But what really are your concerns with the way government is managing the Green Ghana project?
Thank you very much, Shalom. Let me say good evening to you and those who are listening to us. Shalom, my concern is that all over the world there is concern over how much money is attracted towards supporting programs and projects meant to deal with climate change, mitigations and adaptation. And the concerns are basically because of how much money is going there and how less anti-corruption strategies and measures are put in place in the utilization of those funds. And so as a country, there's a need for us to be concerned. I mean, over the last 5 or so years, if you look at our budget statements that have been presented in Parliament over the years, government has so far spent almost 500 million, half a billion Ghana cedis on national afforestation programs in the country. They have budgeted, let me say, almost 500 million Ghana cedis on national afforestation programs. But you and I know that the level of devastation to our forests is on the ascendancy. So there's a need for us to ask ourselves the hard question of what we are getting for how much we are putting into projects aimed at protecting our forests and improving the forest cover in the country, when the records show that there is a high rate of depletion of our forests. And so this Green Ghana program, like I stated on the floor of the House, in my view, is well intended. It is aimed at improving the forest cover in the country. And year in, year out, monies are allocated to it. We are told the number of trees that are planted without any clear-cut mechanism to determine if indeed the numbers that are churned out are the numbers that are really being, planted on the ground. We are told of percentage of performance, and you do not know the criteria that is used to determine the percentage of success when it comes to how well the planted trees are doing. The issue of contracting is not clear. How are people contracted, for example, to supply seedlings? Is it based on competitive bidding? Is it just hand-picking? How do we procure these seedlings that are usually, we do not know? And that is why I said on the floor of the House that as much as this is important and has to be done, it has to be done in such a way that it does not become a scheme that is just meant to siphon money. And so if it is Green Ghana, it must be Green Ghana and not green corruption. But how it looks now, it seems that if we are not very careful later in future, if we begin to do a post-mortem like we usually do in this country, we are all going to be surprised that it is green corruption and not Green Ghana.
That's very interesting points you've raised and very legitimate points as well. But you sit in Parliament. Is it not a part of your oversight role to call the Minister, for example, for Lands and Natural Resources, or your colleague Benito Usubi, who chairs the Green Ghana Project Committee, to account to the Committee of Lands and Natural Resources how resources allocated to the project is being used? Is that not what your committee should be doing, sir?
Those are the steps that have started. I recall that in 2022, I filed a question for the minister to tell us how many trees had been planted, how many contractors were used, and all of that. He provided that information, and it was that information I used in my debate yesterday as well. The minister at the time told us about 4.89 million trees had been planted. That was for the 2021 season. However, a couple of weeks just after he provided us with that answer, just weeks, not months, the president came, and during his sonar, he said they had planted 7 million trees, 2 million more than they targeted. And that, for me, was it was the difference between the figure the minister provided and the figure the president provided. In my view, the difference was that significant, and it could not account for the number of days that had elapsed since the minister provided his answer. Because the minister's explanation was that at the time that he was answering the question, perhaps the data was not all put together, and so it was during the sonar that they had the full report from all the regions. But I thought that 4.8 and 7 million still raises the question. So the next step is for the minister to appear before the committee and to make available to us the audited accounts that he says are available, so that we can all go through it to satisfy ourselves that indeed it is not a scheme that is used to bleed the state. But apart from even the monetary aspect, in terms of how we assess, how well the trees are doing, we need to have a formula that is verifiable, so that when we say that we are planting 10 million trees this year, next year, if we say 70% of the trees are doing well, there is a clear-cut formula that is verifiable by anybody who wishes to verify that indeed 70% of the 10 million trees that are planted this year are doing well. As things stand now, there is nothing of that sort before us. It is just based on, reports from the ministry that is not backed by any data that shows how the calculation is done. We will be demanding that also when we make a request from the minister to submit to us the audited accounts that he says are available.
I see. Very interesting. Of course, I mean, some of the points you raised, others have also, said same. So, for example, who is managing this, for example? I mean, we're working the lines to speak to the government on this matter, really. But will you know what the role of the district assemblies or the district municipal and metropolitan assemblies will be in this? Because, for example, when you use the Medina Road, you see early morning, there are water tanks, trying to water some of those seedlings or those trees or plants. Will you know what the role of district assemblies, is in this?
So you see, I have repeatedly said that this program has all the good intentions that you can think of when it comes to improving our forest cover. And that is why my approach is not to throw the baby away with the bathwater. What is important is for us to fix what looks or seems wrong with it, so that we can use this program to continue to galvanize the nation, to draw attention to the need for all of us to grow trees. They say that people who grow trees that they know they will not sit under are indeed people who have foresight and think about the future. And that is why I agree also with the ranking member, Honorable Rashid Perko, yesterday, when in his contribution, he stated that the minority is willing to support any project that is aimed at improving our forest cover and the greenery in this country. But we will not be lending our support to pretentious means of doing that. For example, the issue of EI 144 is still something that is on our heart. The fact that the Achimota forest is, gazetted to no longer be a forest reserve is still of concern. And one way of giving confidence to people that this is a government that is really committed to improving the forest cover of this country is for them to declassify, to change their position on the declassification of the Achimota forest. And I have been on this matter that the only way the president can prove to us that he means well when it comes to the protection of our forest is to change his position on the Achimota forest. So looking at the Green Ghana project in the manner that it is couched now, we think that a lot of improvement can still be brought about for all of us to get the benefits of the program, and that is why we are raising some of these concerns. Clearly, as things stand now, the measures, anti-corruption measures especially, that should put all of us at ease that this program is delivering to meet the expectations of well-meaning Ghanaians is not there.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm the Honorable Alhassan Suhuyini.